Okay, well, let's bring Vanessa back in because despite Douglas Murray claiming that if you're anti-Zionist, you're anti-Semitic, it appears that there are people in the Jewish community who are absolutely not happy with what's happening around them in their own country.
Yeah, and I also think he should remember that the Zionist project stole the land from Palestinians under false pretenses, and the 1947 mandate to partition Palestine is considered illegal. So coming back to the story that I covered last week of the anal rape of a Palestinian prisoner by, I think it was 9 Israeli military soldiers. And this was an article in Haaretz. So in Israeli media, the Sde Teiman doctor who saw the abused Gazan detainee said that he couldn't believe an Israeli prison guard could do such a thing. Basically, information obtained by Haaretz shows that the Gazan detainee suffered from a ruptured bowel, a severe injury to his anus, lung damage, and broken ribs. And he was taken to a hospital for treatment. Now, the video that we're going to show now was actually shown on Israeli media. It's not particularly graphic, so people don't need to worry about that. The quality is not great, and the translation from Hebrew to English, I think, has been done by AI, so I can't verify it, but I've seen a number of reports basically talking about what the video is saying. But it shows exactly what these soldiers did to this prisoner. The quality is not great, as I said, so you need to kind of peer at it. So let's play that.
Late in the evening, the firing camp shook. The Yemeni Hamas detainees are lying on the floor with their hands not covered. Here is a group of reserve soldiers from Chokhmah. A unit is used to secure the facility. They take the terrorist. Here they are, here in the corner of the facility. The photo includes documentation of the crime attributed to the reserve men, a sodomy act, among the causes of Enos. Hours later, the terrorist was taken to the hospital bleeding. His injuries were described as complex. The medical determination is unequivocal. The injuries were caused by the insertion of an object.
So I don't really need to interpret that. Opinion in Haaretz today, the tip of the iceberg, Israel cannot whitewash the horrific abuse of Palestinians by its soldiers. And also bearing in mind when we talk about hostages, there are now 9,000 estimated prisoners in Israeli jails just in the occupied territories. So I'm not including Gaza. So again, I want to come back to Alastair Crooke. And I want to talk about this article that he's written for Strategic Culture. I recommend everybody reads it. So he talks about the 1948 Irgun Reborn. Irgun was actually one of the original Zionist terrorist groups that carried out the crimes like the bombing of Hotel Camp David, I think is the name. And he's talking about the return to this group, to Irgun, with the rise in the far-right extremism in Israel, controlled by the likes of Smotrich, the finance minister, and Ben-Gvir within Netanyahu's administration. And I find it very interesting what he talks about here. So he's talking about internal divisions potentially leading to an internal war in Israel itself. So let's just play this short clip.
So in a sense, what we saw there was, if you like, a foretaste of Israel going back to something most had thought it had left behind in 48, into militia. The militia, it was a militia, it was vigilante militia from the settlements who came down and stormed those 2 IDF bases. And the police could do nothing to stop them. And then the Knesset justified it all. So we may see something of this taking place. akin to a war, the members of the state of Judea descending down in order to fight the state of Israel. That's what it signaled. So really a key event, hardly noticed in much of the media, but really important, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alastair on that. The internal divisions in Israel are increasing every single day. I mean, of course, you've got the riots and the protests about the inaction by Netanyahu's government, referenced the hostages, and of course, the assassination of the chief negotiator for the opposition or for Hamas doesn't imbue the faith that Netanyahu wants to get the hostages released. But this is also interesting. There have been major protests from the ultra-Orthodox Jews, the Haredi Jews in the occupied territories, who are saying, because of the recent law brought in by the Knesset, basically stating that they will be enlisted into the IDF, saying that they will die before enlisting. So if we just have a quick look at the actual report itself. So Israel released a statement on the 6th of August condemning the storming of a military base that day by ultra-Orthodox Jews, also known as the Haredim, who were protesting a recent government decision to enlist them into the Israeli army. Breaking into IDF bases is a grave offensive and against the law, the Israeli army said, adding that the enlistment of Haredi Jews into the military is a critical operational need, and we are determined to continue advancing it. Demonstrators from the ultra-Orthodox community stormed the Tel Hashameh base in Israel earlier on the 6th of August during a demonstration against compulsory conscription. Channel 12 News described the situation as out of control, with rioters outnumbering security forces and dozens breaking into the base. So, we are, in my opinion, seeing the state of Israel imploding. So what will come first? The resistance, retaliation, or Israel's self-immolation?
Yes, it's serious stuff. But of course, none of this is being reported, Vanessa, which is a great shame, because we're just not told alternative opinions from within the Jewish community. And I believe I have mentioned to the UK column audience before, I've been trying to engage with the Jewish community in UK to talk about some of these issues. But even Jews that want to challenge their own government are frightened of speaking out. And I find this oppressive fear is very nasty. It's very pernicious. We should be able to speak freely about all sorts of topics, because it's only by talking in the dialogue that we keep peace in sight. And that's what we need. Calm, peaceful reflection to sort out the problems that we face at the moment, and in particular the attacks. I'm just going to end on this one slide. I know we've overrun the news time a little bit, but I think this is important. There was a video circulating on social media showing a group of Muslims attacking a man at a pub, and that attack was pretty outrageous and horrible. However, the result of it was that people came forward from within that multi-ethnic, multicultural community to apologise, and also to say, "not in my name." And the comment from the lady who ran the local pub involved said that most were more sensible than not. And I think this is something for us to reflect on. If you're being sucked into the anger and the angst and the stress against another group of people, you are succumbing to the psychological warfare that's being unleashed against us. So stay calm, stay peaceful, stay talking to the man or woman next to you, because if we end up in the camps, we're not going to be bothered by the colour of anybody's skin next to us. It will be us versus the people with the key. So I'm going to end there. We're going to have UK column extra in a few minutes, and we will be doing some further analysis on some of these subjects. So if you're a UK column monthly member, please join us for that. Vanessa, thank you very much. Charles, thank you. We'll see everybody in extra time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.